IVM.
बस ना चलो बन गया
प्रिंसिपल सर, इस लड़के की आईक्यू बिल्कुल जीरो है, जीरो। तुम जाके किसी लोहार या सुतारी का काम क्यों नहीं करते? अच्छा ये बताओ, किसी पॉडकास्ट को बिना सुने डाउनलोड कैसे करते हैं?
देखिए, आप रोहित को नीचा दिखाने के लिए जानबूझकर मुश्किल सवाल पूछ रहे हैं।
पहले पॉडकास्ट ऐप पे जाइए, फिर IVM पॉप सर्च करके हैज़ इट टेस्ट वेल ढूंढ के उसको डाउनलोड का बटन दबाइए। आप हैज़ इट टेस्ट वेल यूट्यूब पे भी देख सकते हैं।
हैला, इतनी गंदी मिमिक्री?
आपने कहा था ना अपने फेवरेट पॉडकास्टर से सीख के आना। मैं साइरस ब्रोचा से सीख के आया हूँ सर। कोई छोटा नहीं होता सर, जो छोटा होता है वो एक दिन बाद बड़ा हो जाता है। कट टू एड।
Hello and welcome to As It Aged Well. My name is Abbas and that, believe it or not, was not Rohit from Koi Mil Gaya. That was our guest Mohammad Anas, who's in the studio to talk about, if you have not guessed by now, the 2003 super hit film Koi Mil Gaya.
Krish -1.
Yes. Also with me in the studio is my co-host Urjita Vani.
Great, and of course I'm dressed up like Preeti Zinta, Nisha.
What does that make me?
Which one?
That makes me
Principal.
not the principal. That makes me Rohit's dad.
Oh yeah.
एक कार एक्सीडेंट में तुम्हारी मौत होने वाली है जल्दी। Before we start this, first scene you're gone.
सुनो, तुम ज्यादा बटन मत दबाओ, ठीक है?
It's because he failed
रोहित
as a
बेटा,
DJ.
रोहित बेटा फोन साइलेंट पर रख दो, पॉडकास्ट शुरू हो गया बेटा।
ये सब बड़े लोगों की बातें मुझे पता नहीं है ना, इसलिए मैंने किया नहीं। अब कर दिया है।
Anas, I have to say, when we invited you for this podcast, I
Yeah,
did
man.
not expect this level of dedication for you to show up.
Hey man,
as-
somebody has to do it for the podcast. You know, it's high time now.
Is
And,
this your usual wardrobe, or did you specifically buy things for this episode?
So the scarf is mine,
Okay.
and then the shirt is mine,
Hmm.
and then the pants are mine. The vest I've bought.
Okay.
बनियान का क्या?
Oh,
उसको
the
वेस्ट
vest, yeah.
वेस्ट
अच्छा, vest.
इंग्लिश।
तुम भी थोड़ी स्लो लगती हो लगता है।
मैं बस दिमाग में बनियान सोच के आई थी. I didn't pay attention to what he was saying.
I didn't properly introduce you, my bad. With us in the studio today is Instagram influencer, comedian, actor, content creator, overall amazing fellow, Mohammad Anas. Please
Yeah,
welcome to
that's
the Has It Aged Well. Hi, Anas.
Hello.
One of my favorite Instagram creators. I think he does not have the following that he deserves. He has some of the most unique Instagram reels out there.
Always a great
and-
note to start with. इसको मिला इतना कुछ नहीं, but चलो आ गया हमारे साथ।
Basically, I'm
अच्छा
saying
लग रहा
I have very high hopes from this episode, and Anas, you better live up to it.
Oh, sure man.
Because,
Don't call me Enos,
ये
but
तो
like,
मीन नहीं कर रहा था बिल्कुल भी. First half of the sentence doesn't match with the second half.
नहीं मैंने
You are underrated, so you better live
या
up.
मैं
ऐसा थोड़ी
उस
ना.
टाइप का फैन हूँ जो लोगों को मिलता है तो बोलो देखो, you don't let me down, okay? So yeah.
underrated means कि एपिसोड अच्छा जाने वाला है, but views तो नहीं आएंगे। Sorry, if you think this is I'm Muslim Kullu, just introduce me.
Yeah, I was about to say your competition is Kullu, because Kullu's episode has the highest number of views.
Because we have
on
the same nose. That's
Yeah.
the real reason.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
literal same one.
ऐसे लगता हूँ मैं जैसे अभी कुल्लू लग रहा हूँ।
और यार, और भोपाल का, अरे यार क्या हो
अरे
रहा
यार, तुम
है?
यहाँ
अरे
कमाल
मेरी
करते
है।
हो। Unnecessary hate. कोई जरूरत नहीं।
ये हेट थोड़ी ना थी यार.
कुल्लू के बारे में बातें फैला दो। अनार बिना छीले खाता है, वो अजीब अजीब बातें फैला दो।
I think he's on a much more popular podcast for rumors for him to spread. So
I need to think of better.
I don't think
rumors
our
also.
rumors will go very far.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But Anas, can I call you Anas?
You can call me anything, Abbas.
This feels like a date.
Yeah, Urjita, you can leave now. When
I
we
go by Anas. Yes.
when we asked you to be on the show,
Yeah.
I think you were one of the quickest who's with the choice of films. You were like, you want to do Koi Mil Gaya.
But also
yeah.
the most difficult guest to get
To
here,
get, yeah,
क्योंकि
because he's
इसको
fucking
50
busy.
बार पूछा था, and every time, so it's like if you don't want to come, usually people say actually I'm not free, but Anas would just be like, यार पता नहीं यार, एक ऐसा सा अजीब सा, मुझे पता नहीं कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं. मैंने कहा तुझे स्टूडियो बनाना नहीं है, वो बना हुआ है.
आके माइक लगा रहा हूँ, इधर सेटअप कर रहा हूँ.
इतना क्या, and I would just like, मुझे समझ नहीं आता यार ये मना क्यों कर रहा है, और फिर भी like why is he being so direct with the no.
No, but then Anas agreed to be on the show,
Yeah.
and we had him scheduled. And then unfortunately there was a fire incident in our office, and we couldn't record for a pre-file in person.
That's
So
right.
I texted Anas. I'm like, Anas, we're recording from home nowadays. Would you like to come on? And Anas was like, bro, I'm a professional. I don't do this online shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I want in-person podcast record. So we fucking renovated the studio to have you back on, man. And,
And the only reason I said ki let's have an offline thing because I wanted I had already thought of it the moment like we discussed what movie to do. I'm like ये तो हो रहा है और ऑफलाइन में करता अब उसमें कैमरे में तुम्हें दिख रहा है गंदा सा फिर मैं पैंट कैसे दिखाऊं उसमें like so because of logistical reasons today we're meeting
पर्दे
IRL.
के गिरते ही पर्दे के उठते ही बदला नहीं जो बदल सकता है ये के.
किसी को छोटा मत समझिए साहब.
Anas, before we get into Koi Mil Gaya,
Yeah.
tell me
What
a
do you want to
little
talk
bit
about?
in short about your journey. How did you get into making reels on Instagram?
Ooh.
How do you balance stand-up and Instagram comedy in a nutshell?
Okay, the nutshell.
Because
I
like I
struggle with
said,
nutshells,
again I will reiterate that your reels stand out from all the other reels that
thanks,
that
man.
I see on Instagram. So you're clearly bucking away from the trend. So how do you go about doing it?
This thing is very simple. I am a very big lover of comedy. And मुझे ये भी नहीं, मुझे बनाने से घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता चीज़ें. I generally just want to be around comedy, and like this is one of the ways where I can actively be a part of it and learn new things. So I've been doing stand-up since 2016, and then the pandemic happened. So I was just like, cool, great opportunity.
People
to
were
sort
dying
of
and you were like,
make
cool,
videos.
great.
Absolutely, dude. Like you need to acknowledge your privilege and make Instagram reels.
Right.
If you don't do that, then
What is
what's
even the
really the
point?
point?
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
go on, dude. Like that's the. So I started making reels then, and I just thought, man, fun. Like with doing stand-up, this also gave me an opportunity to be slightly more whack, slightly more do things that I wasn't really doing on stage, maybe. So the good thing is now all of it is integrated. So now that I do stand-up,
Yeah.
अब वो भी अजीब है reels की तरह. तो I'm like, ठीक है, maybe there is like it gave me some confidence on my voice.
Right.
Is what it's done.
Okay.
Plus whatever work I get is off my Instagram.
Right.
I am a freelance writer. If you want to connect, just DM me. Don't worry about these guys. So yeah, man, that's in a nutshell.
One last
about
question
me at the rate XDNS.
about your
Yeah.
content creation. Sorry, you can plug it again. मैं बीच में बोल रहा था.
Oh, that's okay, man. I think they already follow me at the rate XDNS.
So I was gonna ask, do you feel awkward when people who make the more generic stuff get more work than someone like you who puts in a lot of work in your reels?
Nah, not
No?
at all.
Okay.
I used to think like that, but then I'm like, it's like internet is such a big probability. It's like I'm asking definitive questions with it, where I'm saying कि मैंने इतना effort डाला, तो मुझे इतना return मिले. I think all of us who are like freelancers are into this for the
No, I
unpredictability
work here. I
of
have a
this.
job.
You have a job?
Yeah.
You're not a freelancer.
No.
So all of us who are
That
freelancers here-
should not stop people from reaching out to me for projects, but sure.
I feel our life as artists is unpredictable. Like
Right.
internet पे कुछ भी चल जाता है. Like literally, मतलब I've seen a monkey like put his hand inside a man's ass, and Anuv Jain's
वो
song
गलत
was playing in the
website.
background. oh, that was the other one.
Yeah, that was that
one.
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
me.
But Anuv Jain's song was there.
It's not XD, it's XVs.
It's XX on us.
But there was an Anuv
But
Jain
internet is
song
great, dude.
playing in the background while the monkey
Yeah, and I was like, man, this can never happen. Wow. Hey, thanks. That's where we are, by the way. Yeah.
was. Okay.
So I feel internet is so unpredictable that कुछ भी हो सकता है. मैं कल को एफर्ट ना भी डालूं तो भी मेरी चीज़ चल सकती हैं और मैं जितना भी डालूं वो नहीं चलेंगी. तो डेफिनेटिव आंसर है ही नहीं. Basically what I'm saying is it's not as frustrating as it should be. I'm just like, cool man, I'm getting to do what I do. I absolutely love making content. मुझे करने को मिल रहा है. I don't have to worry
And
about
after
other
that
things.
rehearsed answer that he's rehearsed for Coffee with Karan.
Yeah, did you cut? Bro, it's too hard, man.
आपने कहा था ना बड़े-बड़े
fucking
एक्ट्रेस से
hard.
सीख के आओ, मैं उनसे सीख के आया हूँ.
बड़े-बड़े influencers से सीख के आए हो हैं?
Absolutely, man.
इसके पीछे म्यूजिक लगा देंगे.
I know this.
Whatever. We will get a copyright strike for that.
नहीं मिलेगा मेरा जितना करना है एक ही इंसान को समझ आया.
I'll send you a link later and you'll be like, oh.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Anas, Koi Mil Gaya, 2003.
Yes.
What are your first memories of watching this movie? And are you
man.
are you a genuine fan of this movie, or is it because it lays itself to memeability very easily?
I think memes happened much later.
Right.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love Koi Mil Gaya.
Okay.
Like, I think I had 2-3 movies that I reached out to Urjita with. Ki I really love these movies. Have you done this before?
Which were the other ones?
Main Hoon Na
Done.
and Jajantram Amantram and Urjita and
That has history, which we will talk about some other day.
Urjita and Abbas are active haters of Jajantram Amantram, as I've learned.
I'm not.
So the only great option, which I absolutely love
Yeah,
also, is
yeah.
Koi Mil Gaya.
Yeah.
And dude, great fun fact time. But Koi Mil Gaya is actually the first and the last movie that I saw in theater.
Why last?
I'll tell you. The first because I went with my family to visit Nainital in I think 2003 के end में या फिर 2004 के January में. And it was playing in one of the theaters. So we watched it there, which we later found out was the same theater that the kids in the movie take Nisha to.
Oh.
So श से कोई तो था थिएटर का नाम शांति विला. ऐसे शांति विला उसको जाना
I
था
mean,
but
उन्होंने
थिएटर
कसौली दिखाया है.
Cinema,
But like
cinema house या कुछ
हाँ,
ऐसा कुछ था. टन टना वहाँ पे जाना था उन्हें और like it was I think
but
the
then
first.
then when that scene came in the theater,
Yeah,
did people
yeah.
lose their mind? You're like,
वो
oh
li-
fuck, we are
वो
actually
लियोनार्डो
sitting.
डिकैप्रियो.
Yeah, this was Inception before Inception.
People were like, wait, is this fucking play about us?
क्रिस्टोफर नोलन तो कर रहा है कुछ सालों बाद बट राकेश रोशन ने किया है करके दिखाया है.
उसने
It's
किया.
playing in the theater while I am in the theater and in the theater it never stops.
Yeah.
It's like getting your hair cut. सामने मिरर है पीछे मिरर है और मल्टीपल.
I can't relate.
वो तो नॉर्मल है वो तो होता
दाढ़ी
रहता
वाड़ी तो बनवा लिया करो बस कभी
घर पे बनाता हूँ यार खुद से.
फेयर
है. तो पीछे भी रखा करो ना क्या पता अलग
रखता हूँ.
बट या
क्या पता पीछे तुम्हारे होंगे बाल पर तुमने देखा नहीं क्योंकि मिरर नहीं लगा है कभी.
Are you hinting at something?
मैं बताता हूँ मैं जितने भी एपिसोड देखे मैंने देखा उर्जिता बड़ा कॉल आउट करती है.
हाँ पता है मुझे यार. मैं
आप एक
सह लेंगे
बीच
थोड़ा.
में ना लगा लो और बोल दो मैं तो नेचुरली ऐसे ही था.
व्यूज के लिए करना पड़ता है क्या करें. You know everything about it.
I was almost gonna get a wig for Abbas. I'm like, I need to know him better before committing to such acts in the middle. And
I'll show you my hair wala photos after
Mike
the
मेरे मुंह पे मार के चले जाएगा.
episode. But again, coming back to the story. So
Yeah,
you were
so
there.
the first movie that I ever saw in theater, and the last movie because Koi
Just
Mil
saw
Gaya has
it.
just completed 20 years.
Fuck, yes.
So it was playing in selective theaters.
Yeah.
So I went and saw it with
You
my
did?
friends. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
which
was the
is-
atmosphere like this time around?
It was amazing because बचपन में देख रहे हैं तो mostly it was kids that I
Yeah.
saw the movie with. So everybody is having fun, but like बच्चे बीच बीच में कर रहे हैं. लेकिन यहाँ पे it was all
बच्चे
grown
बीच बीच में
adults.
क्या कर रहे हैं.
मम्मी पॉटी ये सब.
अरे
Like so they don't really care about.
नहीं बेटा वो तो
I
स्क्रीन
guess.
पे है.
Wow.
That was a joke. I like the movie.
No, he's talking about.
I'll come to my
I
rating
have
later.
never been more offended.
Urjita, he's talking about the end credits because the movie
अच्छा okay.
doesn't play after.
पक्का एंड क्रेडिट्स की बात कर रहा था ना वो.
Yeah.
पक्का. Okay.
Urjita,
Yeah.
trust me on this.
So it was really the first movie ever you saw in a movie
First
theater?
movie ever and the last movie. So this time around in the theater, such a fantastic mahal. People were repeating dialogues.
Yeah, of
We
course.
were all dancing in the theater. Like I've recently seen Jab We Met and Koi Mil Gaya in the
Yeah,
theater
yeah.
again. And even Jab We Met was the same. Like a girl came dressed up as Geet and she danced in front of Ye Ishq Hai, that song.
Yeah.
Same was happening in Koi Mil Gaya. तो It's Magic पे हम सब नाच रहे थे. मैं Pulkit Soumya. We
Yeah.
all went. Mad time. There
Do-
was a
do
guy
in-
sitting behind us.
Do
just
influencers
saying
only hang
dialogues.
out with other influencers?
Oh yeah. Who else do we talk to? You know, we can't listen to corporate bullshit. Like मेरी IVM podcast में job है, मेरे podcast पे आ जाओ. कैसे बात करेंगे इन लोगों से? पर थोड़ा फ्रीलांसर लोगों का रहता है अपना कनेक्शन है ना.
मुझे इससे बात करनी पड़ती है, आई कांट.
I get it, dude.
Urjita, your first memory of Koi Mil Gaya?
मैं भी थिएटर में गई थी अपने मम्मी के साथ, एंड द थिएटर्स नेम वाज कृष्णा. तो no, that's it's fine. The theater's name was Krishna.
No, I'm saying and then the
Foreshadowing.
foreshadowing. Yeah.
So and हम वो I remember वो ऐसा वाला थिएटर सबसे घटिया थिएटर है कल्याण का था, RIP. तो उधर से कैसा था, बारिश हो रही है तो हमें कैसे पता चलता है गिर रहा है पानी. अगर लाइट बाहर जा रही है थिएटर में भी लाइट जा रही है.
That's not a bad theater, that's 4D experience.
हमारे मेहुना में 3 इंटरवल थे क्योंकि लाइट गई. तो कोई मिल गया के टाइम पे आई रिमेम्बर आई वाज इन माय सेकंड ग्रेड, और मेरी जो फट रही थी मूवी देखते टाइम. मैं हर 20 मिनिट में यार घरी जायचं का मुझे घर जाना था. पता नहीं मुझे डर क्यों लग रहा था.
स्पेसशिप एंड वो म्यूजिक भी थोड़ा है.
वो जादू को देख के मेरी थोड़ी फट गई. एंड आई रियलाइज लाइक नाउ इन हाइंडसाइट आई रियलाइज कि दैट शुड हैव बीन निशा's रिएक्शन टू
जादू.
जो रेखा मैम का जो फर्स्ट रिएक्शन था कि हे नहीं हाथ मत लगाना, बच्चों को प्रोटेक्ट करिए, हे नहीं छू. That should have been like any person's reaction after looking at somebody like that. But निशा मैम, no, निशा was actively like कि नहीं, जादू के पास जाते, हेलो हाय, लगता है इसे भूख लगी, लगता है इसे I feel she was behind all this.
वो रेखा वाला सीन देखते देखते मैंने नोट्स में लिखा, डोंट यू हेट इट व्हेन योर मॉम वॉक्स इन विद यू एंड एन एलियन.
Fucking worst, man. Fucking worst. Mom, just let us be.
Yeah. But so what theater was this? Krishna. Okay.
In Kalyan. Worst theater in older times, now great.
Yeah.
Then when did you watch it next?
उसके बाद काफी बार देखा and I didn't stop. मैं I kid you not. If I hadn't watched the movie even now for this podcast, मुझे फिर भी पूरी याद.
Really?
Word to word everything.
बता 23rd मिनट पे क्या हुआ था, सच बता.
23rd मिनट पे
सही.
चल के आया था अंदर रोहित के कपड़ों में.
1 घंटा 16 मिनट पे जादू दिखता है, ये मेरे को पता है.
That is absolutely true.
Yes.
But my story about Koi Mil Gaya is I went to watch. I was 2013. I was 15 at that time. I went to watch this movie with my mom in New Excelsior, which is now taken over by Mukta Arts, and it's like a posh South Bombay theater. And guess who showed up to watch the movie? Like it was a celebrity.
Rekha.
No. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's a controversial figure who is very famous, but he's not from the movie industry. But he's from the arts, and it's a he.
Rahul Bose.
No.
Oh, no, he's not from the movie industry.
I was gonna say Rahul Mahajan.
No.
He was there in Big Boss. So
He's not in the
Like
movies,
that.
but he's from the art world.
from the art world.
Yeah, probably the biggest name in the Indian
Manish
arts.
Malhotra.
Majnu bhai.
Can't.
No. Close.
Close.
Oh, Sabyasachi.
Same art form.
MF Hussain.
Yes. MF Hussain had come to see Koi Mil Gaya, and before he came in, like there was a crowd of people around him and everything. And apparently, you know his obsession with watching movies, right? He saw the Madhuri. I think he saw Hum Aapke Hain Kaun some 37
That
times
was his
in the theater.
obsession with Madhuri Dixit.
Yeah.
Not movies in general.
Oh, I
But
don't know about this.
Koi Mil Gaya also, I think he saw many times, and yeah, he was there bare feet, and that's my memory of watching Koi Mil
But he
Gaya.
watched
Damn,
it
that's
so
so
many times and
cool.
realized that Preeti Zinta is not worth
Yeah,
it.
not the same as Madhuri.
Preeti Zinta.
But I
She's
think
so
she's very
pretty, dude.
pretty. Yeah, she's very pretty.
Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to when you talk about Preeti Zinta. When
Preeti
you watched
Zinta
it,
section. When we
yeah, when we
Preeti
go to the,
Zinta
literally yes.
section. Nisha section.
When you saw the film for the first time, were you aware at all? Okay, this film is borrowing from a lot of Hollywood films.
Not at all.
Did you realize later? कि अरे ये तो कोई मिल गया में था.
Only recently I learned of recently क्या मतलब हो गए इस बात को भी 5-10 साल. But कि ET exists for
Correct.
example, and there's a whole sci-fi genre that exists.
Yeah.
But I'm a very very big sci-fi genre fan in general,
Right.
and fantasy superhero movies मैं बहुत देखता हूँ.
Right.
तो मेरे लिए this was the thing that got me into the
Right,
genre,
right.
and then I sort of see, oh, maybe it has
The
taken
origins.
a lot of. I was seeing scenes in different movies.
right,
like,
right,
oh, ये तो
yeah.
कोई मिल गया में भी था. I'm like, oh, उन्होंने पहले किया. Okay.
Yeah, मुझे पता है कैसे
This
पता
happening a
चला
lot.
कि ये कॉपीड है. करुणेश तलवार का स्टैंड अप
I was going to come to
Shout
that.
out.
So we'll come to that. But here's a list of movies I realized that this film borrows from.
Okay.
Star Wars, Contact. There was a science fiction movie from the 90s. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is the other Spielberg's science fiction movie, which is where the scene where he's driving and he sees a spaceship is from. E.T., the entire plot.
Absolutely.
Forrest Gump, because big
Okay.
guy in a small guy is like a little mentally affected. Spider-Man, the glass scene,
The glass
where
scene.
he sees.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
But speaking of Karunesh Talwar, I should mention this because it's very hard to do a film appreciation about Koi Mil Gaya if you have seen Karunesh Talwar's stand-up video on it, because he methodically destroys the movie on
very
every
funny, dude.
every level. But I would recommend, please watch it. We'll put the link in the description if you have not. It is actually like how you to make fun of something, you need to know it down to
Absolutely.
your core.
Yeah.
And you know, Karunesh Talwar also, like Urjita, has seen this movie so many times in and out कि उसको हर beat पता है, इसलिए वो हर beat का मजाक उड़ा पा रहा है. So yeah, I thought that was very funny.
Karunesh is set, fantastic. I actually was thinking, should I see the movie or see his set once just to refresh? And then I saw the set and I'm like, movie भी देख लेता हूँ. बेइज्जती कर देगी उर्जिता जाके वहाँ पे.
What did you?
मैं थोड़ा डरता हूँ उर्जिता तुझसे. तुझे वाइब आ रही है ना थोड़ी थोड़ी. I'm little intimidated.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है गाइस, मैं बहुत प्यारी इंसान हूँ.
Anas, how old were you when the film came out?
2003.
2003,
right?
yeah.
I think I was what?
8 I think.
वही हाँ 6-7-8
Okay.
type साल का
You
था.
were in your second standard.
Yeah.
So as usual, I was the oldest, as the oldest person on this
It
podcast.
never stops, man. The misery.
I remember they had not revealed Jadoo's face
Yeah.
till the release date. Okay, trailers वगैरह सब में they would show a silhouette or they would show like the back का scene and everything. Then the day the movie released, the Friday, Bombay Times में ऐसा एक half page spread आया था, which was the big reveal of Jadoo, okay? Which is exactly the shot where you see him in the movie, peeping from the tree.
Yeah.
That same scene was like, here's the alien. That was the big, this thing, heading. And then on the next page in Bombay Times, they had done a methodical comparison of the E.T. alien and Jadoo. What are the similarities and what are the differences?
How cool, dude.
So this was a big thing. Which brings me to Jadoo. How big a role has Jadoo played in your life? Because I know now Jadoo has become a meme, but back then we literally thought कि it's a marvel of special effects, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and you can feel it in the movie. Like, we watch superhero movies now, and none of that seems like solid tactile thing, right? We all feel
Yeah.
like, हाँ CGI. This actually, like, they actually did it. They made Jadoo. So tell me about
Yeah.
the role Jadoo played in your life.
I think this is the difference that practical effects can sort of add to your stuff. Like, it just, for me, until now, अभी तक 2023 तक भी मुझे नहीं लग रहा लोग इतना VFX अचीव कर पाए हैं जितना practical plus VFX अचीव
Right.
किया है.
Right.
Like, if we see Iron Man 1, उसमें they made a suit and then put
Correct,
VFX
yeah,
over it, and
yeah.
then like later in Infinity War, such a big difference. So I think Jadoo as an animatronic idea came from E.T. obviously, but the good thing that they did is a person plays Jadoo.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
actually mention the name of the actor. He's called Indravadan J. Purohit,
Yeah.
whose screen name was Chote Ustad or Chote.
Yeah, he
And
passed away.
He passed away. He was in a lot of films, usually playing
Yeah.
the short person for comedic reasons. Did you also know he was in the Lord of the Rings? He is in the Fellowship of the Ring. He played a body double for one of the dwarfs. So,
Oh,
and think of it, Koi Mil Gaya was not very far away from the Lord of the Rings.
It
films.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah. So yeah, it's on his IMDb credit.
Did you also know
Yeah.
that he did a cameo in Koi Mil Gaya?
Yes, he's in the basketball
Yes.
crowd scene sitting behind
I
Preeti
did not
Zinta.
read this anywhere. I had seen
You
like
noticed?
some.
अच्छा तूने देखा
I had
खुद
seen
से?
like some video about who he is and like.
So when you
it was
see him,
revealed.
you will identify him because he's one of
Yeah,
those.
I've seen him. हाँ, वो देखा
Like in
है.
the basketball, वो Pandavas
हाँ.
versus Kasoli
God.
Tigers match. He's sitting in like and just cheering in one.
That was a pause for effect. He did not forget the name of the team. Yeah.
yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
Why would I? I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Of Kasoli Tigers.
I'm okay fan. I think now that हाँ ये वेस्ट एक्चुअली अंदर से बास्केटबॉल खेलने के लिए पहना मैंने बाद में.
Did you genuinely were you amazed by the look of Jadoo as a kid?
Oh dude, so much. I had no idea कि ये इन्होंने बनाया है क्या किया है. मेरे दिमाग में as a kid it was just कंप्यूटर से बनाया है.
मुझे भी वही लग रहा था
क्या
animated
technology
लग
आ
रहा
गई है
था
bro.
वो. And see, like you were asking about how the VFX has aged
Yeah,
well or not. But I would like to say that I think we don't mind bad VFX as long as the story and the core of the story is perfect. Like Jani Dushman, I don't think we hate it just because of the VFX.
Right.
People
Yeah.
keep saying that कि VFX खराब नहीं, वो story भी खराब थी guys.
yeah.
उसका
घटिया.
कोई या मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ कितना घटिया, आज स्टोरी भी बकवास थी,
It's
हम
so
कोई
true.
बात नहीं कर रहा
It's
उसमें.
absolutely true.
बट कोई मिल गया मैन, आई फील लाइक मैं कितना मैंने उसका फॉल्ट निकालने का कोशिश किया, बट मेरे अंधे प्यार ने मुझे अलाउ किया ही नहीं.
Did you know Hrithik recently took a dig at मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ? So at the 20th anniversary re-release, they did a Q&A with Rakesh Roshan, Hrithik-Roshan, and Komal Nata was doing this thing at a screening only. So then Hrithik was recollecting the time where he did Koi Mil Gaya, and he was like, a couple of my movies bombed also, and I was doing things like, I was doing films where I was like talking to parrots, and yeah, so it was a very like, तो मुझे actual alien के साथ काम करना पड़ा.
I've seen this interview,
Yeah.
and Hrithik says this, right? कि
Yeah.
a couple of movies flopped ये वो. Then Rakesh Roshan comes in and says 7 movie flop हुई थी इसकी. 7-8 movies की flop थी, तब मैंने कोई मिल गया. And Hrithik is like, पापा, shit.
By the
So
way, I have a
embarrassing,
quiz question. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the quiz round.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
It's the impossible quiz. तो now that we are talking about Hrithik's older movies, ऋतिक की कौन सी पुरानी मूवी का रेफरेंस इस मूवी में किया गया है?
Ooh, कहो ना प्यार.
नहीं कभी कुछ भी कम.
What is the reference?
Johnny Lever sings the song "Kehdo Na Keh."
Yes,
he
yes.
Oh, I
he
know.
infuses papad somewhere.
Bonus points if you can actually sing the song.
I have written
you
it down.
have it.
Can I?
पापड़ तूने खाया, पापड़ मैंने खाया.
तूने जो खाया है, ये
You are my Sonia. I need a question answered. Why is there a hardcore Sindhi cop in Kasoli? Kasoli or Kasol?
Kasoli.
Kasoli, right?
Kasoli.
Why is there a hardcore Sindhi?
I think representation matters, Abbas.
And
There was
also
Inspector
because-
Khan.
And if he
And
has
also
been
because Johnny Lever वो mood में होगा वो time पे to play a Sindhi.
I genuinely think so also कि they just gave a character to Johnny Lever and
Of
he's like, what can I do comedically that adds value to this?
Yeah.
Oh, a stereotype. Let's go. Jhulelal. Bro, what was the need? And उसका इतना
अरे
random
सुबह उठ के
character है.
कोकी तो खाना है ना, ये हम लोग
The
को और
whole
क्या आता
movie-
है?
The whole movie has scenes that takes you from one scene to another. Everything makes sense. But there's one random scene of Johnny Lever कि वो अपने सारे कांच फोड़ रहा है.
हाँ.
कि बच्चे कांच फोड़ते हैं तो मैंने सारे फोड़ दिए. And then Rekha is like, आप खिड़की खोल क्यों नहीं देते? He's like, makes sense. Please continue with the movie.
अरे साईं हमने तो ये सोचा ही नहीं.
झूलेलाल. Absolutely.
Also, there is a factual error in the film. On one of the news reports, she says Uttar Pradesh में Kasoli, whereas it's actually in Himachal.
Oh.
Yeah. So back then you
Also-
could make Uttar Pradesh jokes in movies.
Also that
No comment.
Also that news anchor, I feel like she intended to say that because she was smiling. Like she's trying to hide her
Was
laugh.
that Rakesh Roshan like finding a loophole in the case?
Yeah.
केस तो कर ही नहीं सकता, मैंने तो स्टेट ही गलत बताया.
उत्तर प्रदेश कसौल आपको मुझे पता है उत्तर प्रदेश में आता है.
तो फिर मैंने एक्चुअली गूगल किया, इज इट
हमारा देश स्विट्जरलैंड जहाँ की वादियों में बढ़िया बैठे
ऑस्ट्रेलिया और विदर्भ के बीच में.
भाई बढ़िया. But since you asked me a question about movie, I have cross question for both of you.
Yes.
Which other movie of Hrithik Roshan has been referenced in Koi Mil Gaya?
Oh, unknowingly or unknowingly?
Knowingly.
Is it टेंशन मत डाल यार.
वो जो भी बोलते हैं ना बच्चे धूम मचाएंगे.
I know, no. फ्यूचर मूवी रेफरेंस कर दी. आज से 7 साल बाद एक पिक्चर आएगी. I mean, I know he mentions के साथ मुझे बोलता है लंबू लंबू. So that's a very generic thing.
It's actually a very random thing.
Okay.
It's Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Because when he was shooting Kaho Na Pyar Hai in London, apparently he said this also in an interview recently, कि he bought glasses for his character in Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Use the same glasses for
That's true.
तो
Rohit
ये
Mehra.
रेफरेंस कैसे हुआ है?
कैसे नहीं है
आप
रेफरेंस?
झूठ बोल रहे हो.
झूठ तो मैं
मतलब
बोल
आप कहो ना प्यार के बहुत
Absolutely.
बड़े फैन हो तो आप देख के बोलोगे अरे तो वही चश्मे हैं.
हाँ,
मैं
पर
जिसने
ये
कहा ना-
रेफरेंस
मेरी बस रिसर्च स्ट्रांग है इस पॉडकास्ट के लिए. 3 इंटरव्यू देखे मैंने बैक टू बैक. आई एम नॉट expecting applause.
The
but
links will be in the description.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that you can also
Absolutely.
waste your time like on us on.
Yeah,
Koi
yeah,
Mil Gaya.
please, please.
Did you guys know that?
मेहमानों को ऐसा नहीं बोलते अब.
Jadoo is being extra salty today. I don't know
Yeah, I know,
what is
right?
up.
Did you know Jadoo had 2 thumbs just like Hrithik?
Yes.
And it was
yes.
Hrithik's suggestion to add that because there's a lot of personal sort of attachment that Hrithik has to this
Yeah.
character because apparently he was bullied in school a lot, and so
Yeah.
he channeled that for this role.
Every kid who has been bullied in school, इसकी favorite movie है, because every note just hits you in the place. Just every time वो ऋतिक की साइकिल टूट रही है, मैं यहाँ पे रो रही हूँ, और ऋतिक को वो लोग बोल रहे, ए तू निशा से बात करेगा, मैं इधर रो रही हूँ.
Which is also why I think the theme here is like I was trying to see E.T. versus Koi Mil Gaya sort of like I was trying to think about it,
Yeah.
and I thought thematically they are not like each other, because E.T. is a very different story of a kid then finding this. He
Just
has no friends, makes no
Correct.
friends.
Yeah. The
But
plot
yeah.
device is the same, but the story around it is
Yes.
completely
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
But I think it's closer to Spider-Man in that sense.
Correct. Yeah.
Because it gives you a story of this relatable underdog bullied character,
Yeah.
and then some magical power shift has happened and he's become this person.
Yeah, like I feel the movie would have been very different if Hrithik was a regular child who had
So
just
two
discovered
questions.
an alien.
One observation, one question actually. One observation I felt this time around while watching, that Jadoo in this movie kind of functions like a fairy godmother than a alien friend, right? He literally comes, पूरी उसकी किस्मत बदल के वो चला जाता है, which is literally the Cinderella story. She comes one night, changes everything about her and then goes.
Yeah.
And the second was, because you made the E.T. comparison, do you think this would have been a better or worse film if they'd actually cast a real child actor in place of a fully grown Hrithik?
I don't for me the idea that this person has a mental condition and because of that he is not fully grown in his body, so it feels dissociative from his child friends also. एक वो राज है जो इसे बुली करता है, वो इसकी क्लास में था.
What an asshole face he has.
What a dick, dude.
Like, I really
Can we
want to
talk about
punch
him
you.
next?
Yes, please.
What an absolute asshole.
I feel like this movie would not have been the same if Hrithik was a child, because then Nisha का character ही चला
Correct,
जाता.
yeah.
And like I think ये कोई mention ही नहीं करता, but like the first half, the entire first half is just filled with how this girl Nisha, she's so empathetic, she's so kind. She had no reason to be this kind.
But
to
she's
him.
also stupid. I mean, which girl does not realize that this person is mentally affected when you see him
There
talk
is very
like
nice
that?
scene of empathy also. You know this scene
Which scene?
where Nisha says to her dad कि ऐसे ऐसे रोहित है, वो थोड़ा ऐसा सा है, ऐसे ऐसे, and dad is like, does the dad thing ever, most dad thing ever,
Article निकाल के
takes a
देता है.
print out of article
इंटरनेट पे
कि
मुझे
बेटा
आर्टिकल
इंटरनेट पे
मिला है.
आर्टिकल मैंने डाउनलोड किया जिसमें लिखा है कि बी नाइस टू दीज पीपल, एंड शी इज लाइक ओके अब से मैं तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड.
ऐसा नहीं
she's
है,
a nice
don't-
rich person.
But she can't be a
don't
girlfriend.
say it like that.
She is
ऐसा
very
नहीं
nice.
है.
It's just the dad giving the printout bit that I think is very
अब से
funny.
मैं तेरी no, it's like I feel like there was no reason for her to be so nice, and I'll try to explain. Okay, ऐसा नहीं कि वो रोहित को बच्चे की तरह ट्रीट कर रही है. She is not belittling him, and which is why it was so easy for him to be friends with her, and we don't realize it, but Nisha was the first friend जो उसकी उम्र की थी.
Yeah.
So and वो immediately उसके साथ comfortable हो गया
But
था.
he didn't need to be beaten up for her to realize that. It was pretty apparent from
It's
the
not
first
the
scene.
It's not the beating up. It's what when
It's
Rekha
when Rekha
tells
comes
her.
and is like, तुम
Yeah.
ये तुम्हारी तरह दूसरों की तरह नहीं है, ये तो अभी भी बच्चा रह गया.
Yeah, when they're
But
sitting
that
in-
was pretty apparent for
us वो
No, so the other
rewind
people,
करके देख कितने
I
कितने
differ.
scenes है कि निशा didn't like get to have a proper conversation with him.
It's true. जब भी चीज़ें हो रही थी इससे पहले, instinctively things were happening. Like in the party, उसके सर पे वो पूरा गिर गया, so she's like, he must have done this.
Yeah.
और उससे पहले वो मिले तो that whole cinema thing happened.
And he
But
wasn't.
she
no,
was
but-
with him in the car for a
but
good whatever half
they
an
were
hour.
not having a conversation.
He was sitting
not,
right next to her.
He was not even looking at her. He was just saying right, left. If you remember, it was the
Yeah.
Tantanatan guy who was having the conversation.
Yeah, he was not talking about anything. And then
Yeah.
later she calls this out कि तुम ये तो बच्चे हैं, तुम इतने बड़े हो तो तुम ये सब हरकतें क्यों कर रहे हो?
Yeah.
She doesn't even realize it then. It is later only, and I think it's very interesting that you mentioned this, because निशा के थ्रू ना हम रोहित को थोड़ा और देख पाते हैं.
Exactly.
वरना हम बस यही देख पा रहे थे कि ये बेचारा रह गया है, स्मॉल टाउन में है, और क्या हो सकता है. बट निशा के थ्रू हमने देखा कि ओ ही इज नाइस ऑल्सो. मे बी ही प्रैंक्स यू एंड ही इज लाइक अ फन लविंग पर्सन, बट ये सॉरी बोलने आया देख तेरे को बाद में, तो इसका जेन्युइनली इंटेंशन नहीं था. फिर उसे बुरी भी लगी वो बात, वो फिर से नहीं गया. साइकिल मिली तो नाराज भी हो गया. लाइक व्हेन शी गेट्स अ साइकिल देन ही इज
Yeah.
This
लाइक
करके आए यहाँ पे कोई मिल गया पे. मैं
Yeah.
थोड़ा
क्या
out of
लगता है
place feel
आपको?
कर रहा हूँ.
Yeah, so
ये कपड़े मैंने
So but then
धूप में सुखाए.
yeah, बराबर. अपने आप को भी धूप में सुखाया होगा.
Fair enough. Yeah. Dhoop is great.
at what
Shout out
point
to Dhoop for Jadoo.
at what point do you think Rohit starts developing feelings for Nisha?
The moment she brings a cycle for him. No, I'm kidding. Not
I
when,
think it's
I'll
when
take
the-
that
it's
answer,
when-
yeah.
no.
That's a good answer, yeah.
I think it's when okay, moment exact ऐसा याद नहीं because वो रोज वाला moment
Because
उसके
my
पहले-
thing is, he's not he's technically he's not hit puberty in his head, right? So is it? But then we feel like romance is developing before Jadoo makes him right.
Also,
So at
like,
what
it's very
point?
also
Interesting.
first of all we have to like just get the
Yeah.
elephant out of
Yeah.
the room. From Rohit's end, romance doesn't mean sex वगैरह. No, it is.
I
just,
never said that. Why
No,
you?
before anybody could make any jokes about that, I just want to
No, no,
say.
no,
But
no,
there's
ऐसा
that one
कुछ नहीं
scene.
था.
रोहित,
No, no, you're
शादी सिर्फ ये नहीं होता, उसमें औरत
जिम्मेदारियों की
जिम्मेदारी
बात
होती
कर
है.
रही है वो.
उसमें
मुझे
सिर्फ
भी-
बॉर्नविटा पीना नहीं होता है.
And by the way, Rohit ने
मुझे
तो
कभी कभी
definition
जिम्मेदारी का
दिया
मूड होगा
था.
तो तुम्हें मुझे जिम्मेदारी देनी होगी.
हाँ,
No, but you.
I'm just saying, it's a
But I
euphemism.
think you're right.
So the thing is for him, Rohit, it was all about affection.
Sure.
He liked her company and he wanted to be around her.
Right.
उसका ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं था कि इसके मैं हाथ
I think वो
पकड़ूंगा, ये
बच्चों की
करूंगा.
उसके फ्रेंड गैंग की भी थोड़ी गलती कि अब तो तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड हो गई है, अब तो
हाँ,
किस करना
वो
पड़ेगा.
सब वो
Yes.
लोगों ने दिमाग में डाला था.
So interesting that who do you ask for romantic advice from? Your friends. What if your friends are kids?
Yeah.
ए तो इसके लिए फूल लेके जाना है. And it's just like उसकी innocence को इतनी वो चीज़ दिखाती है.
Yeah.
2 songs in the movie,
Yeah.
especially that stand
इधर
out.
चला मैं उधर चला.
इधर चला मैं उधर चला is a song about friendship that he's developed with this person.
Yes.
And like हमारा मस्ती कर रहे हैं हम वो कर रहे हैं. And then later Haila when they're like in love.
Yeah.
तो अभी relationship बहुत अलग है.
Correct.
अभी मेरे को actually प्यार हो गया.
That's the typical Bollywood love song.
And it was so nice, like कई minute चीज़ें उन्होंने इतनी प्यारी की हैं. When he gets his powers and then things start developing, like his brain starts developing, and he starts becoming this other person, his body language completely starts to shift.
Yeah.
His
And
dressing
वो
sense is
and वो
different.
directly नहीं
पागलपन.
दिखाया हुआ है. Immediately नहीं दिखाया हुआ है.
It was
Like
kind of
धीरे-
immediate.
It's
धीरे-
gradual,
धीरे
yes.
दिखाया है. Gradual दिखाया है.
Till the last scene में he has a stubble. That's
Yes.
such an interesting thing to add क्योंकि उससे पहले उसको बच्चा दिखाने के लिए for some reason clean shaved always, right?
Yeah.
कि दाढ़ी भी नहीं है ये वो बहुत innocent है and suddenly and the peak puberty moment that happened and I think that is the answer to when
Okay.
Nisha developed feelings is when he did this and that machli came out.
Yeah.
I think that was my bisexual moment also. I think that was it for me.
Bisexual.
That was my sexual moment also.
I think that as a kid also that scene just stayed in my head कि भाई ये जो इसने ऐसे किया और वो फटा है जो इसका एकदम से शर्ट. Beautiful direction.
उधर भी दिल होता है धड़कने वाला मुझे पता नहीं था.
हमारे वहाँ इसको मछली बोलते थे कि देखो हाथ पे मछली आ गई तो ऐसा
हाँ, क्योंकि वो कर्वेचर वैसे ही होता है ना.
हाँ ऐसे कुछ होगा.
Yes.
ऐसे ही कुछ भी बोल देते हैं ये तू मछली है ऐसे नाम रख दो.
Okay, we have to take a break. At this point, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we have a lot more to talk about. Koi Mil
Yeah,
Gaya
listen to
with-
Cyrus meanwhile.
with Mohammed Anas. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. We have a brand new show called A Century of Stories, presented by IDFC First Bank. The first episode is a story about our beloved national anthem, and it is out now. Tune in to any podcasting app or YouTube to listen to many more such heard and unheard stories about India. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by Raghu and Rajiv. They talk about their fun MTV days together and also recollect how much of a workaholic Raghu and Rajiv were. Raghu and Rajiv also speak about their new podcast, Mencyclopedia. On Pesa Vesa, Anupam is joined by Mihir Shirgaonkar of Phillip Capital Group. They talk about global markets and the importance of having a US dollar-dominated portfolio. Mihir shares Phillip Capital's new schemes under the Portfolio Management Services, explains the benefits of global PMS and how the taxation of the same is different to domestic PMS. So folks, if you like our show, spread the word, tell your friends, and don't forget to rate and review them wherever you're listening to them. Follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You'll also find all our shows on youtube.com/IVM Podcasts. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsor this week, IDFC First Bank. Thank you for making this possible.
And we're back on Has It Aged Well with an Anas who's just drank water. He's hydrated himself
Yeah.
because he was out in the dhoop.
ये माँ पानी पीना तो बहुत जरूरी होता है.
Guest की शक्ति पानी से.
Guys, did you remember Hansika Motwani is in this film? I saw that and I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
4 years before
was
she
young.
magically grew up
Exactly,
in Tera
yes,
Surur.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the Tanatan
जादू
guy.
ने उसको भी हेल्प की होगी शायद.
That is actually Jadoo's real accomplishment, I would say.
Yeah.
The-
By the way, Hansika Motwani in the movie, she says, "अरे जब एक लड़का एक लड़की को किस करता है तब वो गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड बन जाते हैं. ऐसी ही लड़कियां बड़ी होके सिचुएशनशिप को अपना पूरा पर्सनालिटी बना देती है.
Preach sis, preach.
The Tanatan boy. I was
Tantana.
Tantana boy.
Please
Sorry,
be
not
accurate.
Tanatan. My bad.
Tanatan
Big
is-
difference. I was going through a IMDb trivia page and somebody has posted, "Wanna feel old? This boy now plays the killer in almost every episode of Crime Patrol."
Tantana.
What a down.
But Anas, you were telling us you have the 4 B's of a bad boy.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, let's delve
Rajat
into the
Bedi
topic
plays Raj, who's the asshole bully.
Yeah.
And man, is he an asshole in this movie.
Rajat Bedi born to be an asshole. I think he tried his best to be a
वो
nice
जब भी
guy.
पैदा भी
Asshole
हुआ था
face.
वो रोया नहीं था. उसने ईव टीज किया था उसको.
उसके बम पे मारे थे. क्या नर्स. And then his theme played in the background. Bro, this theme kills me every time. भाई तू म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर है. तेरी मूवी में
Hi,
एक बैड
Rajesh
कैरेक्टर है.
Roshan. We have spoken about his brilliance in Karan Arjun. Does not give a fuck. Used Terminator, Jaws, and one more background score in Karan Arjun
But
for
I
Amish Puri.
love the music in this film. But I
Yeah.
just really want to know कि एक बैड कैरेक्टर के लिए फ्लूट का म्यूजिक कैसे सोचा है इन्होंने.
And
कि
it
ये
works
फ्लूट इंटिमिडेटिंग
perfectly.
है एक ना म्यूजिकल
Can you make that one?
The moment he comes, they'll show a shot of his eye. एकदम से. And I'm like ये. And I genuinely felt like, oh, some shit is about to go down. This guy's come.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a bad boy
Totally.
in Bollywood, you have to follow 4 B's, which is bike, basketball, bully, and boys. Have to have boys around.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you're bullying somebody, there is somebody to be like, yeah.
And if you don't
That's all
have
they
boys,
did.
just carry a phone with you और उसमें voice over डालो.
Yeah.
ताकि उसको ऐसे alone ना feel हो.
But this was 2003. No
Yeah.
phone, no
No
Bluetooth.
phone.
Correct,
Agree,
yeah.
agree.
You have to employ people.
Yeah, you literally had to send a signal out of space to call people. Yeah.
Raj has
And
biker gang.
what does the signal sound like?
Bro, I love it. Raj has biker gang, okay?
Yeah.
और biker gang के दो chases हैं इस पूरी मूवी में. और हर chase is like every chase is like बीच में मैं देख पेड़ डाल दिया तो 2 लोग गिर जाएंगे पर 2 लोग हैं वो उछल के आ
ऊपर से
जाएंगे.
आने के लिए हाँ.
In the end the same chase happens. These fucking guys they don't learn फिर गिर जाते हैं यार ये लोग. इनको निकालो यार, ये बुली नहीं बन पा रहे हैं, ये हंस भी नहीं रहे ढंग से.
And my problem is even in the club scene, no, जिसमें वो जबरदस्ती दारू पिला रही है वो लड़की भी कम चेप रही है. थोड़ा ऐसे हाथ पकड़ने का, हिलाने का, डांस करने का.
दारू पी लो कुछ नहीं होता. दारू पी लो मैं नहीं पीऊंगा. Great scene.
हाँ.
Great.
And
was,
the guy also, there is a guy जिसका perpetually neck ऐसे tilted है. और रोहित
It's so true.
या है ना तुम्हारा. Like I feel like वो audition देने गया था शूट आउट एट लोखंड वाला के लिए to be one of the sidekicks of तुषार कपूर. ए गणपत चल दारू ला.
You know the guy who she's talking about, this guy, जैसे बाकी सारे हंस रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, he is a little subtle about being a गुंडा. तो वो सिर्फ heavy dialogues बीच में बोलता है कि जैसे उसको सॉरी बोलते हुए पकड़ लेते हैं ना, तो this steady गर्दन guy is like छोड़ देते हैं बेचारे को, जा, और फिर लात मारता है उसको पीछे से, fuck you, surprise. ये बंदा बढ़िया.
He was auditioning for Black Friday in Koi Mil Gaya.
ऐसे लात मार के बोलता है इसको कहते हैं फ्लिप.
Okay, my question to you is, suppose you want to be a bully and you want to join the gang of the biggest bully in town, who happens to be Raj, this person, है ना? Would you follow a person who carries a basketball inside a club? क्लब के अंदर बास्केटबॉल क्यों लाता है वो? और 3-4 सीन में लाया है.
That's
And he's
his
just playing
identity.
with it.
He's Kasoli Tigers, right? He's the MVP of the Kasoli Tigers, right? So it's like Michael Jordan if he shows up with a basketball in a
अच्छा,
club.
पर आपका पार्टी करने का मन है, सैटरडे की रात हो रही है, आपने 2-3 ड्रिंक अपना बना लिए, ठीक है, अब आपको जाना है क्लब में और अकेले एंट्री नहीं ले सकते, तो आप किसको ले जाओगे साथ? ए बास्केटबॉल, बी गर्लफ्रेंड. सिंपल क्वेश्चन. बास्केटबॉल के साथ कपल एंट्री क्यों हुई इसकी? इज माय क्वेश्चन. एंड देन बास्केटबॉल
वो वॉचमैन पूछ रहा है आधार कार्ड कोटे ये दिख रहा है, ये छोटे ये दिख रहा है, दिख नहीं रहा है क्या?
उसके मुंह पे बास्केटबॉल मार दी. I love it, dude. Basketball.
But that,
What
like
a
some
beautiful
people carry
basketball.
guns and knives for protection, he carries a basketball. That's
It's
his weapon
genius,
of
it's
choice.
genius.
Yeah, it's his weapon
अब
of
मगर
choice.
would never think कि ये
Yeah.
बास्केटबॉल से अटैक कर सकता है और वो एकदम उसे पास कर दिया, अब उसे शॉट लेने जाना पड़ेगा कहीं पे.
Yeah.
It's the perfect escape.
Yeah.
Absolutely love.
बराबर है.
He
And
has
my problem is कि see, suppose if I am the bully, okay, and you are the victim, ठीक है.
Of course.
If I
That's the truth. That's not even
It's okay, man. I'll play the
hypothetical,
victim.
yeah.
तो
tell me.
अगर मैंने तुम्हारे ऊपर ऐसे एक तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू वुड एक्सपेक्ट लाइक अ गन और अ चाकू टू कम आउट ऑफ माय पॉकेट, बट मैं बास्केटबॉल निकाल के तुम्हारी तरफ
Basketball.
बास्केटबॉल निकाल के
Because he's a boss and he plays
तो
basketball.
बास्केटबॉल निकाल के तुम्हारी तरफ ऐसे फेंकती हूँ, ओके. तो एक तो तुमको तुम्हारे सर को लगा और पीछे गया, ठीक है. Your first instinct as his friend would not be to help him. It would be to just go
And get the ball,
pick up the
yeah.
ball.
That's true.
Because childhood instinct, ball अगर रेखा के बाहर गया तो अंकल नहीं देंगे वापस.
Rekha ke bar. I see what you did there.
Yeah, totally not unintentional.
Do you think he keeps this Raj guy? Do you think he keeps like a deflated basketball with him at all times? और कभी भी ऐसे सीन आता है बीच में तो वो फुला के ले आता है ऐसे क्लब में.
That's
तो
what I was
इसलिए वो
about to
ऋतिक
say.
रोशन बोलता है फट गया ना, फुड़ जाएगा.
जादू उसको बच्चे से मुंबई का मवाली बना के चला गया.
जादू-
फोड़ेगा ना?
जादू अपने प्लेनेट पे जाके बता रहा है यार सब अच्छा है प्लेनेट में, उनके गुंडे थोड़े अजीब हैं यार. पता नहीं क्यों स्पोर्ट्स और रिक्रिएशनल एक्टिविटी का कॉन्सेप्ट इतना नहीं है यार उधर. जस्ट
तो वो गुंडे क्या लेके आए थे, बोल. कितना बड़ा एड़ा है.
इस
और जब ये बॉल
basketball-
मारते थे तो क्या बोलता था, लौड़िया.
Now the episode is complete. Urjita has said Laudia.
Yeah, I hear you have a Laudia meter.
Yeah, totally.
But bro, Raj, he's the only character in the movie shows zero growth. Start to end, this guy is just
Exactly the same.
कब बुली कर सकता हूँ, अभी बुली कर दूँ, बुली करो. अरे पावर आ गई, ठीक है, थोड़े टाइम बुली नहीं करते हैं.
फिर वो वेट करता है.
In the end, when powers go, and
अब
he's
तो
like,
चला
अब तो
गया.
तेरा चला गया. Again with the basketball, I'm like, bro, उसकी लाइफ का पर्पस है. निशा मेरे को भाव नहीं देती, कुछ नहीं करनी, चलो रोहित को पीट के आते हैं.
But then again, he almost married her, man.
He did.
Yeah.
So at this point I have to ask you guys, ये जिस हिसाब से इनकी लाइफ जा रही हो, can you please guess the real age of Nisha and Raj? क्योंकि
Oh, that's a good
when the movie started, I thought they both are like a bunch of working people in their late 20s maybe. But then they started acting like कि अच्छा just अभी कॉलेज से छूटा है, क्योंकि अगर ये late 20s में है तो ये दोनों काम धंधा क्यों नहीं कर रहे.
Because they are rich parents are rich.
पेरेंट्स रिच तो अरे भाई रिच लोग ज्यादा काम करते हैं यार, मैंने देखा हुआ है, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
उर्जिता रिच लोग की साइड मत ले, पहली बात तो. as fellow गरीब, I just wanna say stay true to our own side.
वो रुमाल खुल गया सर.
Okay.
Now suddenly
अब्बास करता था थोड़ा बहुत flirt.
ये
Yes.
now from कोई मिल गया it has become कोई मिलेला है.
I have a question.
But it's what you said is true. It's because they're rich. I think rich kids do not have an age. उनकी उम्र ही नहीं है,
He
वो
knows
enjoy
he
ही
hangs
करते
out
हैं.
with influencers.
Always.
So yeah.
Yeah, बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है. इसके बाद सीधा पार्टी में भी जाना है. कच्चा नहीं, कुछ भी पक्का नहीं. You know how it is.
I have a question. In the song In Panchiyon,
Yeah.
they say some words in the beginning, right?
Tikna.
The way I perceived it is like iMac, Ikna. Juvenile. Juvenile. I was like, yeah, because he's juvenile.
It's the second most confusing lyric after I got the babuchuni. Which is what I'm cosplaying.
Yeah.
I got the babuchuni. That's what it is, man. I've just accepted now. There's nothing we can do about it. Can't change 20 years of my life over.
That's true.
I got the vibe that you need. Sure,
I
Rakesh
got the
Roshan.
vibe that you need.
Suddenly vibe word use करने लगेगा ये बंदा.
हाँ,
मैं
वही,
तो नहीं buy कर रहा इस बात को.
But
random shit.
there was a dig at another movie that this movie took. Can you guys guess which one? It's when they're talking about going for the movies. And can you guess?
Oh.
They say कि 3.5 घंटे की पिक्चर है, आजकल यही ट्रेंड
आजकल यही ट्रेंड चल रहा है. Which movie
आशुतोष
this is?
गौहर की कोई
2003,
movie है.
yes.
Are they
This
They're taking a
is
dig at Lagan because Lagan came out in 2001. This film came out in 2003. So apparently Rakesh Roshan says that he saw Lagan and that's
what I'm thinking.
where he was like,
because
yeah,
in
I
the
got the
interview,
inspiration.
in the interview, he said, "I saw Lagan and I was moved, and I wanted to make something as emotional. Therefore, I made Koi Mil Gaya."
I saw Lagan and I got moved. हाँ उठ के चला गया.
I want to talk about Rekha. I think Rekha is great
Yeah,
in
what
this
do you want to talk about, Rekha?
Superb, dude.
I think Rekha is great.
I think so too.
I think with each passing year जब भी मैं मूवी देखती हूँ, my respect for Rekha goes up every time I watch this movie because उसका performance इतना understated है.
Yeah.
Because I remember even like as teenagers, कि as a teenager भी मैंने मूवी देखी, बहुत बार देखी, देखना बंद नहीं किया. तो even then I would always like leave the theater thinking every time I would think Hrithik is such a great actor. Oh my God, what a great actor! But dude, Nisha and Rekha were like his building blocks, like properly. Rekha जो उसका acting है, performance है, like I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but in the beginning वाला scene जब भी रेखा दिखाते हैं सिंदूर and everything with her husband, तो I feel उसमें भी उसमें उसका अलग एक्सप्रेशन है, उसमें उसके डायलॉग उतने हैं नहीं, एक या दो डायलॉग होगा जस्ट लाइक व्हाट ये कैसे क्या, बट शी साउंड्स लाइक अ वेरी डिफरेंट पर्सन. Like she sounds like a married woman कि अच्छा she's much
Did you
younger.
get a little bit of खून भरी मांग vibe? I got a little bit of that. Whereas like if pushed enough, this woman will be willing to like kill someone for her son.
अच्छा okay.
That
तो like
I think one murder per movie is allowed. That already happened in the starting. तो उसने बोला अब मैं क्या ही
What murder? You think she murdered her husband?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
You think aliens exist? Of course not, dude.
yeah.
कोई मिल गया? Who?
That was going to be my
But punctured tires do
question.
exist, so.
और वो भी
but
excitement में देखो UFO.
like UFO?
आगे तो देखो ना पहले.
And then
वो कहता है देखो UFO no UFO.
And he did. And he
lines
did
that
for
did not
life.
make it to the final draft.
Because the producer said ये English comedy समझ नहीं आएगी किसी को.
Also, how irresponsible. I get it कि तूने पहली बार UFO देखो, alien देखा है. तू आधा क्यों निकल गया बाहर कार से? उसको हेलो बोलने के लिए कि कहाँ है alien?
What is this कुत्ता behavior? खिड़की के बाहर मुंह करना है.
Rakesh Roshan is a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Should be the title of this reel. ये brother, ये है content.
Golden retriever was retrieving aliens out of space.
Dude. But like I absolutely love the thing that you said about Rekha, because I genuinely think in the movie the biggest tragedy of the movie has happened with Rekha.
Yeah.
She had a very different life in Canada. बहुत different life है. This whole thing happens. Shifts her life here, like gets a job
She
as
was in
like
Canada?
a bank. The movie starts in Canada, right?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, is that why the
Yeah.
space center?
They're
there are
in the
white people in the
Canadian-
space
yes. So
center.
they're in
Asshole
Canadian
white
space
people.
But then they
center.
come to Kasol, no?
They come
after
to
that.
Kasoli
हाँ.
because she's alone there, and Rohit is also like initially
No.
she mentions.
उसका राकेश रोशन and with family
Yeah.
वो कसौल से ही थे, which is why like कसौल में वापस आते हैं ना
हाँ.
aliens. They were there in
GPS
Kasol only.
उनके
They were
alien
not
race का
there in
GPS
Canada,
कसौल में fix है.
if I'm not wrong.
Like okay, maybe I'll tell you what this
Yeah.
thing about it. Initially, they're in the Canadian Space Agency, which is why I think कि स्पेस रेस की बात होती है तो सिर्फ इसरो और नासा की बात होती है, क्योंकि कनाडा के साइंटिस्ट ही चूतिए हैं. कनाडा के साइंटिस्ट को जाके वो ब्रेक थ्रू बता रहा है कि सर मैंने बहुत मेहनत से ये किया वो किया. कनाडा का साइंटिस्ट बोल रहा है यू मस्ट बी डे ड्रीमिंग मिस्टर मेहरा.
Why does he have a Russian
द
accent?
मोस्ट अनसाइंटिफिक थिंग एवर. वहाँ पे एक रैंडम इंडियन बंदा है, दिन में सपने नहीं देखते मिस्टर मेहरा. अबे तो साइंटिस्ट है, उससे थोड़ा एविडेंस ले ले, कुछ ले ले करके चले जाते हैं. उन्हीं के बच्चे बुली करते फिर उसके बेटे को बाद में.
The way I perceived it is he's doing all of this in Kasoli, and then to prove his study, he goes to Canada.
No.
to
So
do
this
that.
was happening in Canada. He was a part of the research center there. Then
Okay, please correct us in the comments if we are wrong.
yeah, absolutely.
Please correct us.
maybe
if we
maybe
are-
मैं भी
if
गलत
we
हो
are
सकता
wrong.
हूँ. When I'll tell you why also this happens later. This is the first scene with the doctor, जहाँ पे डॉक्टर समझाता है कि देखिए इसके सर में एक वाइट स्पॉट है, and this is something that's going to happen with the kid. He explains the medical situation.
This is happening in Kasoli. In
This
Canada.
is happening in
Okay,
Kasoli.
okay.
Because she mentions कि मैं अकेले रोहित को कैसे संभालती इनके जाने के बाद, तो हम कनाडा से कसौली शिफ्ट हो गए.
Oh.
In fact, when she goes, like first introduction of Rohit is he's preparing for school. School जाने के लिए बिल्कुल ready है, लेकिन पता चलता है कि fail हो गया. So Rekha goes back and convinces the father,
principal,
principal of the school, saying कि it's just this for this 1 year because I'm shifting my job to Delhi, which is where there are special schools where he'll go. तो अभी के लिए please उसका दिल रख लो because anyway he's going to leave. So which is why all of it then sort of makes sense कि Canada से आए हम, now she wants to go there.
And Canada में ये सब चीजें चलती नहीं.
Canada में she was alone because Rakesh.
She couldn't sustain.
That's true.
अभी पति मरा है तेरा तो क्या?
Scientist मूला stopped coming. So
भाई अजीब साइंटिस्ट वहाँ के कनाडा के. मैं तो कहना चाहता हूँ कनाडा घटिया. कनाडा आगे निकलो थोड़ा. Elon Musk अकेला कब तक ले जाएगा रेस में? Just want to say.
You want to talk about the computer teacher who we did the opening quotes with?
The most unrealistic thing about Koi Mil Gaya is not the alien. It's the fact there is one nice maths teacher.
Yeah.
How the fuck? There is one nice teacher, one bad teacher. The nice one is math teacher. And the bad one, have you ever seen a bad computer teacher in your life?
Never.
Poor people, they're so nice.
मेरी कंप्यूटर टीचर मुझसे प्रेमचंद की किताबों की बात करती थी.
Computer teachers have no
Always so
job.
nice.
My
उनका बस एक
computer
ही काम
teacher.
रहता था जूते बाहर निकाल के आओ. That's
Exactly.
it.
वो पूरा दिन एसी में बैठते हैं कंप्यूटर लैब में एंजॉय करते
My
हैं.
computer teacher used to pull my cheeks.
ये तो क्यूट बात है काफी. मतलब कैसे?
नहीं.
Violently.
That's what I was trying to think, but it wasn't problematic. It was nice.
Fair enough, but you're getting the drift. Na, they're kind of nice, dude. Like
Yeah,
computer
they are.
teachers. And then the movie comes and it destroys
Whether they are
computer
nice or not, I
teachers.
don't know. But math teachers are assholes. That I will agree
Yeah.
with.
But math teacher is so nice.
Math teachers always act like वो 60 वाटरमेलन उनने खरीदे.
अगली बार से तुम्हें पहले जवाब देना चाहिए.
True है. पर he's like very supportive और even वो 10th का जब सवाल solve करते हैं, he's like बेटा रोहित wow so nice. He takes him to the principal and is like he's so nice. इसको लेके आओ क्लास में. वो हाँ तो बोल बता. बता. Sorry.
Math teachers are always angry because they're like find x मुझे भी नहीं मिल रही है.
मैंने उर्जिता की आंखों में देखा था कि प्लीज ये मेरे को प्लीज एक मेरे को सेंटेंस के बीच में स्पेस दे दे थोड़ी सी. ये ले. Yeah, dude. But like, yes, absolutely. So nice math teacher. And this computer teacher, complete dick, has no idea कि ये बंदा क्या है, कौन है. उसको he's saying starting में कि तू इतने साल से सेम क्लास में, तू मंदबुद्धि है, ये वो, all that bullshit he's saying, which means he must know what his condition is.
Yeah.
So it's not even like कि तू नया बंदा है और तू ऐसे कर रहा है. उसको जानबूझ के बोल रहा है.
He was a
he's like-
sadist.
And he's like poor guy. He's like my dad is not.
He
there."
was a he. I mean,
तो जिस
imagine.
दुनिया में है, उस दुनिया से सीख क्या? What a line!
हाँ.
What a line to say.
मतलब he's saying कि you
But
kill yourself.
imagine his
What a
joy when he discovered Twitter. That guy. Whereas now I can be an asshole to the entire internet.
Also, what kind of computer teacher you are? That the thing you're teaching is Control C, Control V.
Yeah. नहीं वो I can believe. वो बच्चे हम लोग को वही सब
तो
सिखाते थे
perfect
उस
for
time पे.
Twitter, no?
Yeah.
वो ट्विटर पे वो बंदा ट्वीट कर रहा है and people are thinking कि यार ये कंप्यूटर 101 बड़ा हरामी है.
As long as he's not teaching Excel, I am happy. Like that was the worst thing that teachers tried to teach me.
Can I
Which I
tell you-
still don't know.
Can I tell you honestly, when Rohit explains that whole thing about copying a file, I was mind blown. Because the way he explains it as a
In
kid.
2023?
No, as a kid. As a kid, when I saw it, I'm like, this is some hacker shit, man. ये क्या बात कर रहा है?
ये तो मैं कभी
कि
नहीं
पहले
कर पाऊंगा.
फाइल को बिना क्या बोल रहा है ये?
बिना ड्रैग के मतलब
बिना
सांस
open
रोकनी
किए.
पड़ेगी.
What he said was basically drag and drop. It was just that कि उसको उठा के उधर ले जाने का माउस से पकड़
And by
के.
the way, he
that's it.
said Internet Explorer also somewhere
File
in between.
Explorer.
No, he said
File
Internet Explorer.
Maybe he did. To add gravitas, sometimes हम gravitas जैसे शब्द बोलते हैं. I think that's why. Internet Explorer slow है. By the way, copy ऐसे करते हैं. Just unnecessary उसके बीच में.
इंटरनेट एक्सप्लोरर आएगा फिर आपको डायनासोर दिख जाएगा, आपकी फाइल कॉपी हो जाएगी सर.
आप गेम खेल के हाई स्कोर बना सकते हैं सर. मैंने पापा से सीखा है.
क्या
Very
सीखा है?
कहाँ?
टोइंग.
Fantastic scene this is. Where
Every
he's
time
like
I
आपने
get
कहा था
goosebumps.
पापा से, मैं पापा से सीख के आया हूँ. Completely false,
Yeah.
but great. Dude, it's I love this scene especially because he says कि सही आंसर बता दिया ये वो, and then उसकी आंखों में शर्म है कंप्यूटर टीचर की ना कि वो I have not been very nice, and then Rohit goes on like a monologue about being a nice person, and just being the computer teacher in that setting is fucking यार कल तक I was the bully and now I'm the worst person ever.
और अभी ये
कुछ पता
भेंचो
नहीं होता
टेक
सर.
टॉक दे रहा है मेरे
हाँ?
सामने.
Like थोड़ी सी पावर आती है आदमी में, बढ़िया मैंसप्लेन करने लगता है. I feel like we just need opportunity.
वुमन का आती.
नहीं वही
Student
mansplain.
explain.
We can mansplain to other men also. Yeah. We have technical
The
skills.
Rakesh Roshan role was offered to Anil Kapoor and Rishi Kapoor, and
Yes.
the story goes. One story goes that Rishi Kapoor asked him to do the story himself, do the role himself. But Rakesh Roshan, in the same interview, said that the actor he had hired, and he didn't name the actor, did not show up on set the day they were supposed to shoot the scene. So then Rekha was like, "भाई तुम ही क्यों नहीं कर लेते? शर्ट पैंट पहन के आए हो, 2 लाइन बोलना है." So that's his story, his version of the story.
It's a great story, I think.
Yeah.
ऐसे ऑफिस में स्पर्श है, स्पर्श काम करता है. Some reason I did not choose to come today. स्पर्श करेगा एपिसोड. ये बढ़िया है. It always works.
I agree.
What
No,
the
then
fuck
we
do
would
you
have
mean by
started,
did not show up?
Then we would have started earlier if that was an option.
Absolutely. But ये क्या बात है भाई?
Like that's possible.
Yeah. No. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say कि Anil Kapoor actually happened to be the guy who convinced them to do this movie.
Oh.
What's that story?
So they were also skeptical of the fact that 7-8 flop हो चुकी हैं. Career का बहुत वो है. And then it's like one of the first sci-fi movies from India. So they're like, it's too big of a risk. So Rakesh Roshan decided कि okay, let's not go ahead with it. Even though Hrithik was like, I absolutely loved it and you. Then Anil Kapoor was in their house who convinced them कि this is a fantastic story. You should make it. And that's how it actually happened later.
But Rakesh Roshan never owns up that he copied from E.T. He says all
They
the
don't
other
talk about
movies.
it.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it at all. The whole animatronic idea is from E.T.
Yeah.
And it only existed because E.T. came in 1982. And back then you just did not have any effects. Like even Star Wars was around the corner and everybody was doing just practical effects because वही कर सकते हो तुम.
Yeah.
But I think it's a genius thing to have
Yeah.
to make this puppet.
Suit was made in Australia by a lesser known visual effects artist. Rakesh Roshan says he went to a bigger artist before and did not like the prototype that he showed him. So then he went for this one.
But ऐसे केस में sorry I know like थोड़ा अजीब topic है but ऐसे केस में यार when you don't actually have like any representation of an actual alien how do you decide what kind of suit would work the best क्योंकि literally anything could make sense this could make sense this is an alien yeah sure this is what an
यहाँ
alien
धूप
looks
पड़ती
like
भी नहीं है सही है ये रुकता भी है धूप को.
yeah oh yeah you guys can't see पर्दे पीछे but this could be an alien this is what an alien could look
How
like
do we know you're not an alien, Urjita?
Which brings me
Living
to the big
amongst us.
question.
This episode should have like a Tono counter.
Do you
ऊपर
think
meter चल रहा है.
Jadoo's costume has a hoodie? Do you think it's a planet of rappers where everyone is a rapper and they just that's the
I've
part of
always
their
thought,
costume?
who is Jadoo?
yeah.
Like that's very interesting. कि हाँ मतलब
हाँ मतलब जादू उसके वहाँ पे कौन
Is
है
he a great person on his planet or is he their version of Rohit?
exactly
Which is why he empathizes with
yes.
Rohit. He's like, ये तो मेरी तरह है.
he did it. Finally did it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. You're also going to do it at some point. You have to do it.
Anything else?
But
you
if
guys?
if you're an alien and you find out that there's another civilization out there and you sort of go to this civilization, who do you take? So I think based on what happens here is it's just scholars, right? If not scientists, it's people from the army, from the military, people who can survive the zero gravity training because outside planet पे तेरा कोई different pathogen हो सकता है तो कुछ बीमारी लेके आ सकता है कुछ.
By the way, in ET, they do specify who that alien is. That alien is their scientist because they come
Yeah,
to
doctor.
Earth to collect specimens
He's a doctor,
to
yes.
to research there.
हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसा स्कोप ही नहीं
हमारे
था
यहाँ पे
क्योंकि
नहीं.
एलियन से धूप
हमारे यहाँ पे
बुलवाना था
एस
सिर्फ
करुणेश said हमें दिया एक नीला खजूर. So
a
that's
fucking
what we
table
got.
lamp
I think he was like a teenager / a kid.
yes
Because बच्चों वाली हरकत पापा पीछे खड़े हैं आगे भाग गया
हाँ
रह गया.
yes.
Like it's a very child thing to do and somehow it makes sense because kids connect really well together. So him being maybe a teenager or somebody who relates to Rohit's problems and trying to help him was a very empathetic thing to do.
Yeah.
क्योंकि तू random planet पे है. तेरे
and
को
also
रोहित भी-
वो basketball वो उड़ने वाला आइडिया भी जादू से ही आया था nobody
Yeah,
prompted him to do
yeah.
that भाई that was the first thing that he did
कि हम
without
कैसे
getting prompted
जीतेंगे ओए
Yeah.
बॉल टन टना.
yeah so I feel like because he was so in on it I feel like this actually makes more sense कि
Yeah.
पीछे छूट गया भाग भाग के
Yeah,
what a
yeah.
kid thing to do yeah makes
Absolutely,
sense.
dude. There's an interesting thing about Jadoo You know, there's a cartoon that came in
Yeah.
2004.
It was CGI show.
Yeah,
computer
CGI
graphics.
show
Yeah.
called Nickelodeon
On
पे आता था.
Nickelodeon.
J से बोले तो जादू.
J for Jadoo.
J for जादू या जैसे ऐसा कुछ नाम था उसका. Very interesting. The story is about what happened post Jadoo returning to his world.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the bridge between Krish and Koi Mil Gaya.
Absolutely. It's so interesting because
और वो ब्रिज बंद हो जाता है क्रिश के पहले.
वहाँ पे ब्रो वो लोगों ने लेजिट दिखाया है कि पीपल आर सो एक्साइटेड टू मीट हिम. देयर आर कैरेक्टर्स इन दैट कार्टून हु आर जस्ट लाइक दे ट्रीट ए जादू एज अ सेलिब्रिटी. लाइक दिस थिंग लिटरली स्टार्ट्स विद हिम इन अ पॉड. And because he's come from this other planet, and apparently on their planet there are like more than 2 suns. So they explain it also कि अर्थ पे था वो इतने टाइम तक, वहाँ पे एक ही सूरज था, तो he couldn't like this thing. So he's in a pod right now and he's coming out. People are dying to meet him. There are kids who's asking questions about him. And like before seeing this, I always wondered sort of कि dude, what would have happened when he would have gone back? Like I don't mean to be political, but I think I'm gonna delve into that a little bit.
अब आ ही गए
It's
हो
okay
तो.
if it's problematic. We'll cut it.
Like imagine an expedition from our planet goes somewhere, somebody's left there. Imagine the kind of conversation that starts around them here.
Yeah.
Like, do you see them as a hero of your planet, or do you sort of see this person as lost? Do you see aliens as these vicious beings who's taken one of your organisms? Like, my question is, do people back on Jadoo's planet start planning for like maybe like an invasion sort of a thing? Do they start planning something
They
like
think
that?
we've kidnapped him. The Earth people have
They
kidnapped
think we're
him.
dangerous. They think it's a species not meant for communication, for example. Because I think
assuming-
they would have come back if they found out that there is life.
Yeah.
They, I think, genuinely thought that Earth is a dangerous place to be. And therefore, they did not come back till they sent another signal.
Yeah.
अदरवाइज अब उन्हें पता है ना एग्जिस्टेंस का, पहले भी पता था. पहले तो वो उड़ा के चला गया बस, वो है क्या है. अच्छा, अच्छा.
और मे बी इट इज लाइक अ कॉल सेंटर थिंग नो कि फोन है, हेलो हेलो कोई नहीं है चलो. सो इट फेल्ट.
I think people from this
इतना
planet,
philosophical question पूछा उसने.
people from
क्या
this
आपको क्या लगता है उनकी स्पीशीज जो है उनको खतरा लगता है दूसरी स्पीशीज से, और ऐसा
पर ये
उस पे उर्जिता ने जो कॉल सेंटर जोक बना के
और जितने बीच में झूले लाल जो ऐड किया इसमें, एक सुखवानी बीच में पेश किया और बट ये ट्रू है. देख उस प्लेनेट के लोग फोन तो टाइम पे उठाते हैं.
हाँ.
They always respond.
Yeah.
They wait for somebody to call them. Like,
Better
oh, yeah.
aliens better than your ex.
Absolutely.
That's the second X joke that Urjita has cracked on this particular episode. Okay, we are running a little late, so let's get to the categories.
Okay, okay.
नहीं categories नहीं. I'm sorry. I have a point.
okay.
I have a point. I'm so sorry. बहुत सारे points हैं, but मैं ये वाला point बोलना चाहूँगी.
Same.
So you know, this is a true fact. Okay. A few years.
All facts are true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are they all fun?
I got it. So you know, a few years after this movie, a bunch of kids went missing from Kasol.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you think there is a possibility that Kasol में actual में aliens आते थे?
अब ये Reddit thread बन गया.
But because ये कोई मिल गया movie आई, तो it kind of worked as a propaganda film which was funded by the aliens to say, you know, हमारी image अच्छी करो ताकि बच्चे, we can lure kids.
What the kids found?
So no, that's what. So I'm coming to that. So that's the thing, right? I feel like because of कोई मिल गया, बच्चों को लगा रहेगा कि ओहो हमारी भी लेजर सर्जरी हो जाएगी फ्री में, और फिर वो जा रहे एलियन के पीछे कि हेलो दोस्त बनोगे, एंड देन ऑलमोस्ट छेड़ने लेवल पे आ गए क्योंकि एलियन भाग रहा है, फिर भी ए हाथ मिला ना ए छोटू.
मेरा भी बादल में बनाना इमेज ऐसे करेगा जो.
Again, in the words of Karunesh Talwar, कोई एलियन हिमाचल क्यों जाएगा? तू अमेरिकन प्रेसिडेंट के पास जाना.
It might be true, but अगर मैं एलियन होता और मेरे हाथ में होता कि मैं कैसा दिखूं जनता को, तो मैं जादू वाला लुक तो नहीं चूज करता. आई थिंक अगर मैं पे कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे ऐसा मत दिखा.
थोड़ा ऐश्वर्या राय टाइप तो मतलब.
उसकी बस आंखें बड़ी बड़ी दिखा दी.
Was जादू मेल और फीमेल?
मेल.
Jadoo is
It doesn't have a gender, I think.
Yeah. I think he's genderless.
अच्छा, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Even though when Rohit refers to him, he uses the male
Yeah,
pronouns.
That's what, yeah.
But
Jadoo's pronouns are dhu/oop.
Dhupoop.
Pronoun joke unnecessary.
Do you have any other points?
One scene that I think
Yeah.
they did very well when the alien thing happens. They build it up so much that this movie is about something. Starting में aliens आए लेकिन चले गए. And I think genius of the direction of a movie like this is you don't see the alien that you also mentioned starting में till the 1 hour 15th minute, which is a lot. Like the first half, alien is not there at all. And I think that's what really works for the movie because you're kept guessing at when is it gonna come, what does it look like, what is it, क्या कर रहा है.
And also because over here it is like the exact opposite of PK, no? Because like in PK the focus was on the alien. यहाँ पे the focus is on Rohit. So I feel like that is like the difference between the two movies, and I think it makes more sense.
Absolutely. In fact, Rakesh Roshan has also said कि they wanted the movie to work without Jadoo also. Like what they were trying to do on a screenplay, they've written this script in 10 days, by the way. That's another thing.
So the other two writers are Robin Bhatt and Hani Irani. Robin Bhatt is Mahesh Bhatt's brother, one of his brothers. And Hani Irani was famously married to Javed Akhtar. I mean, that's not her only identity, but she's a very famous scriptwriter also.
She's
Farhan's mother, Farhan and Zoya's mother.
Yeah, they've written this like in 10 days apparently. So they wanted the script to work, and I think this is a very Bollywood Indian movie thing that you want it to appeal to some sort of an emotion. So they were like Hrithik only said कि मतलब एक inanimate object भी अगर होता ना जादू की जगह, वो बस ऐसा होता कि हम दिखा देते कोई पावर,
कार्डबोर्ड भी होता तो फिल्म चल
जाती, कुछ भी होता तो फिल्म फिर भी चलती. Which I think Jadoo adds a lot, but that is also like a very interesting point. कि movie still works as a, this is the person you start feeling for him, is getting bullied, he's so nice, so cute. And then you see him sort of become the hero.
Do you think this is Hrithik's top 5 in Hrithik's top 5 performances ever?
Absolutely, I think so. Definitely one of the most iconic
top
performances.
3.
Okay. Top 3, okay.
I
think there are times where he's overacting a little bit in Koi Mil Gaya. Yeah.
I think that's still like a gray area, right? Because then
he himself admitted to it in the interview. He said, if I would do it today, I would do it a lot more subtly than I did back then.
Yeah, maybe. So, but I think at the same time, since पहले scene se we are into that character, I bought it. I'm like, you do anything with it, even when he's doing those extra this thing while crying and all of that, I'm like, no, it's all part of his character.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, he's convinced me so well. Even though like कभी-कभी खुद करता है कोई joke तो ऐसा लगता है ना ये क्या joke है, लेकिन audience बोलती है भाई क्या joke, मजे आ गए. So I think that's the case with him. As an artist, he's like, ऐसे कर लेता,
and also he's a
but
kid, right? He's still playing a kid, मतलब mentally a kid. और बच्चों के होते हैं अजीब-अजीब expressions. भाई, I've been around kids for a long time. So as a child. So,
wow.
Okay, let's do the categories now. What's aged the best according to you, Anas?
Definitely one of the most menacing things I've ever heard in my life.
And what's aged the worst?
I think Tantana. No Sardar ever talks like that. Have you ever come across one Sardar kid? They got the enthusiasm of like playing a Punjabi character in Bollywood.
वो लय में बात करता है, ये करेगा,
मूवी दूर हो गई है, 20 मिनट बचे हैं, गाड़ी आ गई है, टन-टना. Why are you talking like this? Just say oye like a Bollywood
like a regular stereotypical Sardar.
Actually, the funny thing is that Tantana is actually a very Marathi thing.
Really?
होता है कि यार टनाटन होईल तुझा.
That's different.
Tanatan
is
same word but different.
See, there is geographical difference in Tanatan and Tantana. You can't.
Is Tanatan what I think it is? Okay, let's not go there. I just gestured to our stand-in producer.
Tanatan is like you say, "Arey Tanatan."
Tanatan macha rahe.
But Tantana is like takiya kalam. Tantana you have to end your sentences with. Tantana.
Urjita, for you, what's aged the best? What's aged the worst?
So what's aged the worst is Rohit deciding that Nisha उसको kiss करेगी जो भी basketball competition जीतेगा without asking her.
Yeah.
Like technically that has aged the worst. What has aged the best? Hrithik-Roshan.
You mean the person Hrithik-Roshan?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Abbas, what do you think has...
The movie has also aged
We will
very
come
well,
to
I
that.
feel.
Abbas,
We will come to that. Oh.
Yeah. You want me to give... what do you ask?
What do you think has
aged the best? I think the early Jadoo scenes I think have aged very well.
Yeah.
Somehow...
Like the reveal?
The early Jaadu scenes where he's not there.
Where I think Hrithik actually makes it work. He's literally acting with a model, right? Not model, but like a model of an alien. And we never see the reactions of the person inside the costume, but Hrithik is still making it work. like with a few hand gestures and everything, Hrithik is making feel like, this is actually having an effect on me because an alien is throwing light from his head to me. It's actually affecting me. What's aged the worst? The opening credits, which play out on a Windows 95 screensaver, and the Star Wars font is going there. That's aged the worst. I think a film of that stature should have opened a little better. Also, I think Om is not aged
Man,
very
you're
well.
the real life Raj.
It's always funny, dude.
If you had to program a double feature with Koi Mil Gaya, a back-to-back feature, which movie would you choose to be screened with?
I think मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ definitely because you need to see this guy in a very nuanced character in a very emotional movie and then see him like ruin everything for himself in the next movie.
Hey auntie, hello auntie.
Wow, ooh, yeah, just
बराबर है, that role would not have worked, you know, क्योंकि वो पहली बार में हे जादू बोलता पुलिस आ जाती.
Hey, Jadoo.
चलो मैं प्रेम की दीवानियों का भी एपिसोड कर ही लेते लगे यार. मैं बस ये उतार देता हूँ. I think it still works.
Yeah, बस बाल ऐसे करने
Did you bring a parrot with you?
Oh yeah, it's a CG parrot. It's always there. You have to add it later, producers.
Urjita, double feature. What would you screen with Koi Mil Gaya?
E.T. I won't say E.T. क्योंकि फिर तुम्हें कोई मिल गया शायद पसंद नहीं आएगी.
तुम सबटाइटल चेंज कर दो ना इंग्लिश में उसका.
I think what's another good kids movie? I think मैं हूँ ना maybe. It's not a kids movie but like I feel
It's in the
मैं हूँ
same
ना,
sort of
okay.
yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, कोई मिल गया मैं हूँ ना. Titles
That makes no sense.
तुम्हें
No,
जो
it
मैंने
should be then-
देखा
and then
ओम ओम तुम्हें जो मैंने जाना ओम ओम.
मैं हूँ ना कोई मिल गया, like that. Yeah. The other way.
Actually you got that now.
Yeah.
Slow. तो रोहित तो बड़ा तो हो गया है. दिमाग.
लेकिन मेरा दिमाग वैसे ही है माँ. I would actually screen Kaho Na Pyare with this, like that bang bang Rakesh Roshan, Hrithik-Roshan, back to back this thing, the
That's a
hits.
good one.
So I would do that. Let's come to the rating scale. Anas, we have a has it aged well rating scale from 1 to 10. 1 is that it's a product of it. एकदम से serious हो गया तो क्या हो गया? One is it was a product of its time, has not aged well at all. 10 is you find something new every time you watch the movie. So how much would you rate it?
Definitely a solid 9.5, I think.
9.5.
Absolutely.
Okay. What are you taking the 0.5 away for?
Just being critical for no absolute reason.
Yeah.
I will say 10 and somebody will be like, fuck you. ये सब गलती है movie में. I'm like, हाँ, मैं
Koi
तेरे
Mil
साथ
Gaya
हूँ बस.
I think has a huge internet fan following.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I think mostly because of the memes.
Yeah.
But people like our age who've sort of grown up with the movie, I think today kids watch it with a very different lens.
Yeah.
Today they're
Yeah.
watching it with the Marvel universe and they're being like, hey, नकली लग रहा है UFO and all of that. I'm like, bro, वो UFO असली है.
Yeah.
वो देखा है
हमने
मैंने.
देखा है, हमने पूजा की है उनकी.
The
So you
UFO
feel like that.
scene is
Yeah.
done so well. The shot where lights go off in the city, it's not CG.
Yeah.
They did it actually.
Yeah, yeah.
नैनीताल की लाइटें बंद की थी करवाई थी उन्होंने सरकार से परमिशन लेके. I love that shit.
Yeah.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर ये करा है ना तुमने एक शॉट के लिए तो मुझे लगता है there was a lot of this thing heart from where you were coming from what you wanted to do with the
So
movie.
in that
I love it.
interview, Hrithik said that they actually mortgaged the house for to get this film made. That's how much it was. This film was riding
भाई
on.
यार,
So
ये
yeah.
तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा मेहनत करते हैं यार. This just like this whole mortgaging the house. This is out
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
मतलब.
On a rewatchability scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say? How
Oh, 10,
rewatchable
absolutely.
is this
I can watch it right now with you. You want to start it right now? We'll do it. It's that rewatchable for me.
with the font going like that? No.
I can just listen to its music also. मेरे को music भी पसंद है, movie भी पसंद है. बहुत
Okay.
प्यारी movie.
Urjita,
10
for you,
definitely.
has it aged well scale?
Everything 10.
Really?
Everything I do.
This is a perfect film according to you.
Yes.
Hmm.
Everything 10.
Abbas,
It's
what
an
do you
amazing
think?
movie.
On a has it aged well scale, I would give it a 6 on 10.
Okay.
Because I think like as compared to the other films of that time like Dil Chahta and Lagan, which seem little evergreen, this film is well made. It has all the beats, but it still feels like a product of its time. कि हाँ ये उस वक्त के लिए this was great.
Yeah.
Of course, we have nostalgia for it, so we will
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it. So
that's true.
I think Hrithik is overacting a few times here and there, and but it's a solid 6.
It's a solid one, yeah. Gaseous
Rewatchability.
6 is
But
good.
as a kids movie, I feel it has aged well. Like, see, if you had to show your
Right.
niece a movie,
That's-
would you
Were
show
there
Dil Chahta
kids
Hai
in
or
the
Koi Mil Gaya?
theater hall, and you think
yeah.
they were enjoying it?
They were saying mummy potty again. But I was like, man, that's a good
There you
sign.
go. I think
it's
the kids-
making their system do something.
Yeah,
I think it is.
वो रोना इतना जल्दी हैंडल नहीं करता ना हार्मोन्स, so हार्मोन्स are like क्या करना है पॉटी कर दे. So
पर उसे ज्यादा मजा आ रहा था वो potty रोकता, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
Okay,
बच्चे
on
में थोड़ी कमी
rewatchability, I would give it an 8 or 10 because I think I was never bored in a close to 3-hour runtime. Okay, so those were our ratings for Koi Mil Gaya. Let's wrap it up with the alternate ending segment right now. And this is the alternate ending segment where we suggest an alternate ending to the film we discussed, or we pitch a sequel. The thing is, for this movie, both those things have already happened. Do you know the alternate ending to this, Urjita? There was
can we start with? Achha, oh, okay, no, actually, no, that I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there were 2 endings. One was that Jadoo goes back and he takes the powers with him, and Rohit once again becomes the sort of mentally challenged kid that he was.
It ends with Raj
and that-
bullying him again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
But that ending was short. And then the other ending, which we actually see in the movie. If you've seen the interview that I'm talking about, you should know about this.
I know,
The sort of deal breaker for Rakesh Roshan was he screened this film for Yash Chopra and Aditya Chopra. And Yash Chopra was of the opinion that he should stick with the ending where he takes the powers with him and goes away. And Aditya Chopra was like, nahi, ye jo ending hai where he gets his powers back is the one that should work. And Rakesh Roshan apparently saw the argument happening in front of him and is like, no, Aditya is correct. So Aditya Chopra was the...
Aditya is always a big fan of happy endings. He's
Yeah,
like, कोई
yeah.
भी दुखी, even like Karan Johar को भी उसने कुछ कुछ होता के लिए same बोला
Correct.
था. Tina का in कुछ कुछ होता है. The movie actually starts from Tina's perspective
मुझे
where
याद
she's
न तेरी
sad.
आई, yeah.
Where she's sad because she knows that she's going to die if she gives birth to the baby apparently. But Aditya Chopra ने बोला this is making the movie too
Beginning
morbid.
भी happy बना.
Yeah.
सिर्फ ending नहीं.
He's like too morbid. There is no reason for this, and that's why he made him cut the whole scene, which actually makes
I think
so
आदि
much
के पास
sense.
एक ही फीडबैक है. थोड़ा पॉजिटिव कर सकते हैं इसको यार. थोड़ा प्लस साइन ऐड करें इसके स्टार्टिंग में. आई थिंक ये बढ़िया फीडबैक रहता है. आई थिंक ही डजंट नो व्हाट टू से जेन्युइनली. वो बस बोल देता है अच्छा है थोड़ा पॉजिटिव हो सकता है, चलो मैं जा रहा हूँ सोने.
Yeah.
बढ़िया बंदा है. बट मुझे ऐसा भी लगता है कि अगर उन्होंने पहले वाली एंडिंग पे खत्म कर दिया होता तो फ्रेंचाइजी नहीं बन पाती इसकी कभी भी. क्योंकि इट वुड हैव बीन वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कन्विंस यू टू कम बैक टू द थिएटर अगेन टू बी लाइक नहीं जादू फिर से आएगा. क्या होगा क्या होगा.
एंड ऑल्सो फिर वो मूवी इतनी नहीं चलती अगर हैप्पी एंडिंग पे खत्म नहीं हो रही
आई
है तो.
एक्चुअली सॉ द एंडिंग एंड आई सॉ द फैक्ट दैट उसकी पावर्स अभी भी हैं एंड आई वाज लाइक ओ मे बी आगे कुछ और होने वाला है. सो आई एक्चुअली सॉर्ट ऑफ लुक फॉरवर्ड टू
The sequel.
whenever they make different movies because it just leaves that sort of an impression ki no the powers are back, so great.
And I'm so sorry, I'm taking time, but another point that I mentioned that
It's your podcast, man, go for it.
Hrithik in the end he sounds like a very different person और उसका properly progression हो गया था as an adult.
Absolutely.
But in Krish when you show Hrithik in the flashback he is again sounding like the younger version
Rohit.
of Hrithik. So of Rohit. So I feel like ये तुम भूल कैसे गए ये point और just
They didn't
to show
forget that. They didn't forget that. Maybe you missed that point.
हाँ.
But when Jadoo leaves, he's back to being
A kid.
Rohit Mehra. Like the initial Rohit Mehra. When the people are applauding for him and everything. In a very funny scene
okay.
where Jadoo has gone, everybody's gathered in the basketball arena. Everybody's there. Everybody's sort of looking forward to what Rohit Mehra is going to say.
By the way, there's one whole stretch where a case happens and he gets acquitted that they show us through a newspaper headline, which is like, why did
In
we
3
not
cuts
see this?
कि पहले अरेस्ट हो गया फिर ये हो गया फिर बाइज्जत बरी कर दिया गया है. तो everybody's waiting for him in this arena. He walks like how he was walking initially. Comes, everybody's like क्या बोलने वाले हैं रोहित मेहरा जी. He says miss you Jadoo, cut.
पर ये तो पहले हुआ था ना before the अच्छा it happens after.
Jadoo leaves, this happens, then later after that they are walking Nisha and
There
them
is
are
a
walking.
spark in
And
the
they're like
sky.
अब तो तेरा वो चला गया ये ले बुली ये ले मेरा भी
So
basketball.
that's what I'm talking about. This scene happens after the interview, no?
This scene happens after the
Yeah,
interview.
so that's what I'm saying. So जब भी वो powers उसको वापस मिलती है, so you would expect him to go back to his original self. Original मतलब वो जो stubble वाला self. So that's what I'm talking about.
They explained this in Krish also though. In Krish he does not have rest of his powers. He only has the mind. So they did a complete circle of that. They treated him initially as a person who's sort of mentally challenged and then in the next movie they made him like an absolute genius.
Hmm.
और इस बात की बहुत ही रैंडम फोरशैडोइंग मैं बताता हूँ, मुझे लगता है ऐसा है, मुझे नहीं पता सच है कि नहीं. In one of the songs, I think in Panchio या फिर कोई मिल गया, one of those songs, they are drawing each other, Nisha and Rohit, they're drawing each other. Nisha draws like a very funny this thing. Rohit draws a perfect caricature of Nisha. Like a very thrown in scene कि he is sort of genius in his own way. So I think they wanted कि जादू आया, जितना वो retain कर पाया was his brain. That's all he could save. Because Krish वगैरह में when we talk about that, he does not have any physical prowess. सिर्फ दिमाग है, computer machine बनाया. So I think they've played it quite well. Like they were
very nice.
It makes sense to me. Like
cool.
Could be wrong about it.
We'll get Anas back for Krish and Krish 3 when we do
Hey man,
episodes for
let's
those.
do. मैं हूँ ना,
will you come?
episode delete कर दो. फिर से
Will you come dressed as Krish for those episodes?
I'll just do the Hrithik does ऐसे गुस्सा होता है ना ऋतिक, ये करूँगा मैं.
Okay.
Bro, in the next Krish, I wanna have Rajat Bedi back just for this fact. Please bring him back. Rakesh, Roshan, if you're watching.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode. Anas, before we wrap up, anything you want to plug? Where can people find you on social media? Please go ahead and plug your social media handles.
Hey man, I just have one thing to say कि like no matter how you look at it, कच्चा नहीं, कुछ भी पक्का नहीं. होता है जो कुछ भी सब खेल है. So like just believe in yourself, man.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were talking about kacha papad, pakka papad.
But I got the babuchuni.
Yeah.
Is all I'm gonna say.
That's your social media handle.
That's my Finsta. But you can find me on Instagram at @xdns. I make sketches. I make comedy. I do stand up also. So yeah, man. Check
Any
me
shows
out.
you want to plug? This goes out on the 21st.
21st. Come to my next show. Next one. Yeah.
You know which
happening at venue.
Yeah.
Happening at this venue. Just replace the audio with I'll just do the happening at
Habitat.
my next venue and my show
8
called
PM.
at. Please come and buy tickets. I'm performing with.
Mohammad Hussain.
Yeah.
काफी बड़ा नाम है और पता चला टोनी.
Urjita, anything you want to plug
Shankar
before we
Chugani.
wrap up? वो आगे गया.
Anything I want to plug. You can follow me on Instagram at @urjitavani. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at @urjitavani. And yeah, man, just send love and come to my show. जब भी I think ये 21st August का आ रहा है, तो I think my Delhi or Bangalore shows should be live by then.
Nice.
Yeah,
And you
most
can follow me on Twitter at AbbasMomin and AbbasMomin88 on Instagram. We'll be back next week with a new movie and a new guest. And will Jadoo have given us new powers? I don't know. We'll find out next week. Till then, bye-bye.
Dhoop.
IVM